entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up of the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up of the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside.
If he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, "Where the hell is the agreement we came to?" So I want to see the limit.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give a $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
If he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, "Where the hell is the agreement we came to?" So I want to see the limit.
Good night and welcome. I'm actually not on the couch. I'm on my chair, actually. And just imagine Trump's Bardazar says he's going to be back if the mayor of New York City doesn't do what he has to do as it pertains to illegal immigrants and giving them full access into certain areas. He is saying, the Bardazar, Hogan, or whatever, is saying to the mayor of New York City that if you don't do what we want you to do, I'll be back in your office, we'll be on the couch, and I'll be up here. Just imagine if that statement was done in Guyana, because you can't use the word but any longer. What is it? Butt and buttocks and all manner of things. You can't use it in Guyana because, especially with the word, like if you're licking a lollipop, right? You can't use it in Guyana because they are going to send the PPP. They are going to send the PPP-controlled Ethnic Relations Commissions after you. ERC. It's a waste of time. ERC is basically dividing the country. And that is what people like Jermaine Figueroa, what's going on with Jermaine, man? Can somebody call Jermaine up right now and test his temperature? Is he okay? I don't know. Is that, they have a lot of other Jermaines, little mini minions, right? Suddenly they're behaving as though they're elephants, and they have an opinion on things that they don't know much about. Sad that I have to take that route, and so that's the problem with individuals. You give them positions, they don't know how to act, they don't know how to defend, they don't know how to behave. 218,000 people depending on those individuals in the opposition, the MPs and so forth. And they're behaving as though they got there on their own goddamn strength. And so they do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to. Whatever they want to say, they can say. Whatever they want to do, they can do. But most, if not all of those individuals, you put them to run on their own. Outside of the PNCR, they're nothing. I repeat, politically speaking, that is. Outside of the PNCR, majority, if not all of them, are nothing. Politically speaking, put them to run on their own. They're nothing. Nobody's going to vote for them. I am telling you this. No one is going to vote for them. You think if you put that crapo from Melanie, Melanie's a nice name, mind you. The village is a nice village. Lots of beautiful, beautiful, wonderful people out there in Melanie. Good night to the Melonians. That's my name for them. Beautiful people in Melanie. I know some of them. In fact, I know a lot of them. Do not allow yourselves to be contaminated by wicked demonic creatures. Do not. And as I stand up, should I stand and preach tonight, or should I just talk the politics that you want to hear, right? Do not allow, and this is not just confined to Crapo or anybody else, do not allow individuals to contaminate your mind. They do not mean anything good for you. They're jumping all over the place. All over the place they're jumping. God in heaven knows why they do that. And then they do it in the name, they try to tell you that they are representing your interest. Take it from me. I know almost all of those rascals. And as Otto Martin will say, I bet you beaten. What, right in beaten. Those rascals do not mean well at all. They do not have your best interest at heart. They have never had your best interest at heart. Take it from me. They're rascals. Do not get caught up with them. Anyways, look, there's so much more that I want to say. But like I said, where's my bag? Lots and lots of information, right? The right place, the right time. And the right place is 107.1 FM. Now, speaking of 107.1 FM, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, I don't know, I heard that Sharma television station is gone. I don't know how accurate that is. Is Sharma television station gone, or is it not gone? Is it still there, or is it not there? I don't know. Can somebody tell me? I want to hear from somebody. Somebody, as the pastors would say, turn to your neighbor and say, somebody. Hallelujah. Speaking of pastors and so forth, we have a nice morning devotion program. It's raw. It's keeping it real. Pastor Greenwich and his wife, they do their show. So make sure you tune in at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's nice. All right. Rajan Bim is saying sell out. Of course, sell out. That's it. Aaron Paris, how are you doing? Leonard Nelson, how are you guys doing? Do not be distracted. You notice now, and this is what Dr. David Hines and the others, Rickford and the others, I don't know why they entertain those guys on. Rickford, if you're watching, why you depon, as we would say in Guyana? Why you entertain those pacus? Dr. David Hines, why y'all are contaminating y'all program with those lick-licks? Why? Why are you there's no justification for that. Let them go. Let them go on the other side. Let them. They don't have a big platform. They have absolutely nothing to lean on except on Jack Deer's shoulder, maybe Ali's shoulders or whatever. But y'all don't have to look nice and balanced. It is what it is. Tell it like it is. If they're lick, then they're lick. There's no pulling back on anything. There's no retrieving. There's no surrendering. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. So there's no justification in bringing them on. Do they take your leaders? Do they take opposition politicians? Do you see them on NCN? Do you see them in the Chronicle? So why do you guys feel that you got to be balanced? You see, that's the problem. No, let me talk to Dr. David Hines tonight. I'm just kidding. Dr. David Hines probably say, but no, now it's not time to entertain them. This is a political year. You don't have to justify it, Dr. David Hines and Rickford Burke. Good night to those two. You don't have to. I noticed last night Dr. David Hines invited another individual who has crossed over to the PPP. Why are you doing this, Dr. David Hines? Why? And I don't know. Can Dr. David Hines say why? What's the justification? There is none. Our platforms are the biggest platforms they have. They don't have a plan. Nobody listens to them. No one. No one listens to Crack the Head, Critic, and those guys. No one. They have Dr. David Hines and Rickford Burke. Those individuals from the other side that you guys are bringing, I'm talking about Lick and them, the Lick crew, right? They have nothing to offer. Absolutely. There's no justification. In fact, they're trying to say, Crapo and others are trying to say that extrajudicial killings and this, they can't speak their minds anymore. They are being controlled by the wicked demonic forces. And every time they go to speak, it's like somebody or something choking them. They're stifling their conscience. And if those who are stifling their conscience, as we saw, Licky, right? They're stifling their conscience. There are some who want to come over as though they're balanced and they're fair, and now is not the time for that. If I had my way, I'll throw some of them, politically speaking, in the trenches. Send them to other pastures and let them just go into some sort of dark clouds that we could never see them again. Now, politically speaking, that is, right? I don't know. What else is happening in your neck of the wood, guys? Sharma television station, we hear it's gone. Can you say a bye-bye? There is no more Sharma television station, guys. No more. Right, Dr. Harriet, how are you doing? There's no more Sharma television station. When are we going to get to hear Sharma, CN Sharma, that is, those of you who are in Guyana? When are we going to get to see or hear CN Sharma on his TV station, CNS, saying BKs? There's no more BKs. There's no more Sharma who will ask, what's the baby boy? What's the sex of the baby boy? There's no more Sharma to ask, what color is the blue bucket? No more Sharma. The station, we are told, mind you, is gone. It's gone. It's gone in the hands of God in heaven knows who. But we can assume who, those who have the money and whatever it is to grab those television stations. And then we're hearing Halagala. Halagala. How many of you know Halagala? How many? Collie Allen, also known as DJ Strimpy. How many of you guys know Halagala? Halagala station. Halagala was probably the rawest they've had in Guyana. The rawest they've had in Guyana. He was raw, man. He was raw. You put him and CN Sharma together, I think he would beat CN Sharma. Seriously. Once I was doing a program with Halagala. And this is serious. This is no joke, guys. We are doing a serious interview. And Halagala, he's now passed on. Continue to, no disrespect to Halagala. He's made his contributions. But he might be turning in his grave right now, though, right? Halagala is doing a program, interviewing me. And you guys, those who know Halagala, will know. So tell me something. And suddenly, in a television station, 2 goats running in. I'm not talking about Rohi or Irpanali or Priya. Them 2 goats ran into the studio. God bless that guy. He has contributed a heck of a lot to Guyana, entertainment-wise, and then he started up Halagala television station. He has contributed, and he's from BV, Better for Acting, the place where Paul Slow is from. And now we're hearing, according to news, is that they have endorsed the PPP. So you get Sharma Khan. No, you get Halagala. Halagala. What is going on, guys? Can somebody tell me what's happening in Guyana? Terry Nelson, Carlton Popo, Anthony, thank you so much, sir. Halagala. So you have NCN, the government, the corrupt government of Guyana, with a set of licky. Sorry about that. Those religious people might be turning to each other. They might be turning to their neighbors and say, what is licky? Licky. Okay, and so they're upset because David Hines called them lick bottom. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with calling somebody lick bottom? What is wrong with that? What is so divisive about that? That even the likes of Jermaine Figueroa gets into it. He gets into everything because you know why? He fights against us. It appears as though he's not with us, and therefore we've got to be careful. Remember last evening I asked you guys to wink? And you guys knew exactly what I was hinting at, right? You know, but read between the lines that you guys are going to see sooner than later what's going to happen. And can't say, as, who was it? One of the Jamaican singers was, you can't say me never did I warn you, right? You can't say me never did I warn you. Good night to all of you. Boss Gulliver, Princess, and the entire crew. In that basement, locked away in that basement. We see people are sending messages. They're watching us. One woman is watching us, and Miss Verna is watching us on a black screen TV. Who owns a black screen TV these days? I don't know, but good night to Miss Verna and the crew, Princess and the crew, Lawrence, James, all of you, Miss Booker, every single one of you. Good night. So, Sharma television station is not going to be there for the elections. Sharma station is going to be pro-PPP. Halagala station is going to be pro-PPP. NCN, already the taxpayers' money, pro-PPP. Chronicle, pro-PPP. Mirror, pro-PPP. And we can go on and on. Guyana Times, pro-PPP. DPI, pro-PPP. MTV, pro-PPP, NTN, pro-PPP, and pro-PPP, 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 and what's there for the people? I don't know where Bobby Vera stands. Can somebody say what Bobby Vera station is doing? Bobby Vera might know wherever the wind. I don't know what's happening in Guyana. I'm just being a little mischievous there. Tell Bobby Vera I say good night. All right. Hey, what else is happening in your neck of the woods that you want us to talk about? We can talk about a lot of things, right? Somebody says that Queens, Liberty Avenue. What's going on in Liberty Avenue? They're saying lots of stores. Those stores are empty. Somebody visited Bobby's department store in Brooklyn. And you know Bobby's store for most West Indians, or all West Indians, regardless of where you're from, right? Regardless of where you are from. Guess what? Bobby's is like the Macy's back in the days. Macy's, but back in the days. Macy's. Everybody goes to Macy's. They buy shirt, they buy pants, they buy every single thing. And you walk into Caribbean Macy's, that is Bobby's department store. Guess what? They're empty. Empty, almost empty now, Bonita. Empty. You could go in there and get sheets. You can get curtains. You can get bukta. Those of you who know Bokta, what that is, right? We have a lot of non-Guyanese who are watching this show. Just ask your Guyanese friend what is Bokta. You could get Bokta, you could get this, you could get that. All sort of things at Bobby's right now. You can walk right there. You can even go and pick up all sort of jackets, right? Ties, whatever, at Macy's. Macy's, it's empty. Not the real Macy's, but the Bobby's. Lots of places are empty. But then we're told that all of the people that have been rounded up by the ICE, guess what? 41% of them haven't committed any crimes. So why are you punishing people like that? And there are still people out there who are undocumented and they're afraid. Let not your heart be troubled, right? Just be cautious as you go about your business. Just be cautious. That's all I wish to say on that. What else you guys want us to talk about? Are we going to talk about biometrics? Where is Rhonda Lane? Did they go out there today? And if they did, I bet not more than 10 of them went out there today. I bet, I repeat myself, that not more than 10 of them went out there today. And let me talk like how some of the pastors, I'm not really knocking at the pastors, you know, yeah. How many of those people went out there today in front of GCOM? Is it today, Wednesday, they usually go out? I can bet my last $5, 5 Guyana dollars, that not more than 10 persons went out and protested today. Rhonda Lane saying today is Wednesday. When did you guys go out there, Rhonda? Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? When do you guys go out there? Let's hear from Rhonda Lane. Rhonda, good night to you. Because are we going to be seeing hundreds of people in front of GCOM, or are we just going to continue to see Rhonda and a couple of other people? I don't know. It's Tuesdays. Thank you so much, Brenda Braithwaite. In Guyana, we say Braffett, but once they come to America, they say Braithwaite. Become so sophisticated, right? All right. So on Tuesday, that was yesterday. How many of you guys were out there? Rhonda? All right. So while we await Rhonda, let's go to take you to, oh, by the way, notice Guyana is just a 48 hours news clip and everything done. We're not hearing anything about Sherwin Greaves. We're not hearing whether Soko has launched any sort of investigations as to where he got all of that money from to purchase, according to information, mind you, those properties allegedly in Queens, New York. We don't know. Nobody knows. Sorry that I'm sounding like Trump. Nobody knows. It's done. It's done. It's done. Done. 1 day, 48 hours, and that's about it. And what's going on in the Ministry of Housing? The allegations of corruption and so forth and so on. What is going on? It's done. It's done with. You know, after 24 hours, it's to the next news. That's it. Nobody keeps it alive. Well, of course, we keep it alive right here on 107.1 FM. We keep everything alive. We're not just at 24 hours, 48 hours, and we're done with it. We keep it real right here on 107.1 FM. And when we keep it real, the crappos don't like it. They don't like us. But let me say this to you guys, especially the crapo. If they don't like us, well, we don't like them either. We're not playing no balance game and these sort of things, because there is a reggae that goes something, them not like me and we not like them. That's the politics. This is an elections year, and we've got to tell them that if them not like we, well, we not like them. Them not like we, and we not like them. There's no time to play no nice boy politics on an elections year, because as you see around the world, nice boy politics, guess what? You end up at the wrong end of the stick. You've got to stand up. You've got to confront your political enemies, them, and you've got to dish it out to them. Of course, the Constitution says we can. Not in a violent way, mind you, but you've got to dish it out to them, right? All right. Hey, if you're now joining us, good night. My name is Mark Benshaw, and welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM, the only radio station in Guyana, oh yeah, How many of you guys seem to forget that Bench Up Radio, 107.1 FM, it's actually a radio station. It's actually a radio station. Not just a Facebook, you click on Facebook, and it's a radio station. And it's the only radio station standing, and that has been consistent in confronting the corrupt PPP regime. But like everything else, the opposition doesn't give a damn about us. If Bench Up Radio can sink today, tomorrow, they would probably, most of them in the opposition would love it. Forget about the crappos in the PPP regime. They will rejoice. They will rejoice. But it's those in the opposition as well. And so we're caught between a hard rock, so to speak, that we're fighting for your rights, and there are those in the opposition who would like to see Bench Up Radio fail. Y'all say prayers for Bench Up Radio tonight, please, because it's the only radio station in Guyana. It's the only independent radio station in Guyana that is still standing. All of them are gone. G-O-N-E, gone. They are gone. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All the radio stations, the TV stations are gone, completely gone. All of them, those who were supposed to be independent, are afraid to touch on politics. They are afraid to skin the PPP, the corrupt PPP regime up. And some of you who are not from Guyana might say the terminology might mean something else wherever you're from. But the so-called independent media houses, I'm talking about the radio stations and the television stations, they are afraid to skin the PPP up. But we at Bench Up Radio, we are not afraid to confront those corrupt vagabonds in the installed PPP regime and telling it like it is, without any fear. Absolutely nothing. Because we are not afraid of them. We are not concerned about them. What we are concerned about is exposing them. Now, if they do something that is good, which we hardly see anything good coming from this corrupt PPP regime, then if something is good, then we will report it. But we find it uncomfortable to talk about a regime that has been installed by foreign agents that have rigged elections in Guyana. And now we're talking about democracy. We can't preach democracy and embrace these crappos in the PPP regime that have stolen an election, got into office, and they're ripping the people off left, right, and center. That is what they're doing. Now, I want those non-Guyanese people to see this. They may be looking at it and say, it seems as though it's a farm. Some of the Jamaicans might be watching. They might say, oh, what that? A lady there in our farm. A lady there in our farm. And then some Bajan might be watching and say, God, blimey, there's no lime tree. There's no lime tree. You know, the Bajans, right? Or someone from Grenada might say there's a nutmeg, there's standing there, a nutmeg, or whatever. But let me say to you guys, this is not a farm. This is not a nutmeg farm, or this is not a breadfruit farm. Or what is it that they eat a lot in Jamaica? Well, they eat a lot. That is not a yam farm. No, out in Manchester or somewhere. No, guess what it is? It's a piece of house lot. I repeat, this is a piece of house lot. Hey, let me take a sip of this Coca-Cola, mind you. Oh, yeah, I got to take a sip. Good. So this is a piece of house lot that was given to this woman. Her name is Vilma Glenn. Good night to Vilma Glenn. And she does have a knowing face. So what Vilma Glenn did, Vilma Glenn decided to take off whatever other blouse she may probably had on that day, and she put on a tight red t-shirt. The reason she put on that tight, size small red t-shirt, and you could tell she wears a L as in large, and so she decided either she was forced to put on this red t-shirt. That is what's happening. And of course, anybody will be happy to get a piece of house lot, don't get me wrong. I'm sure she was waiting for at least 30 years, 20-something of which under the PPP regime she was waiting. But because of the level of allegations of corruption within the Ministry of Housing, oh yeah, corruption upon corruption upon corruption, serious allegations. Days later, they decided that they are going to round up a few people looking like Vilma. And you guys know exactly what I mean. Oh, yeah. When I say they rounded up a few persons looking like Vilma, poor Vilma, and they put Vilma in the bushes where there could be snakes, where there could be tigers, where there could be lions and elephants and all sort of dangerous creatures in the bushes. There could even be Mark Phillips in the bushes. There could even be a Dharam Lal in the bushes that could just... You've got to be careful. And so look at what is happening. You take out your picture. Oh, man. And they published her photograph as though this is something that is good. They have insulted this woman in every way, shape, or form. There's nothing good about this picture. The entire area is like forest. And so these vagabonds who are in office right now in the PPP regime, they have no shame. They cannot run that country. They can't even run a cake shop. Not even a cake shop they can run. They can't even run a strip club. And strip clubs are easily run. I'm sorry, I had to say that. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But that is what's going on. They cannot run anything. Every single thing they do, they run it dunk. They run it dunk on the ground. On the ground, run it dunk. Not dung, run it dunk. Failure at every level. Failure. Skeldon Sugar Factory, $200 million investment. Failure. A Mila Falls project, failure. All the other stuff, Gaisuko, billions upon billions of dollars. And on top of the billions upon billions of dollars, you know what the PPP did to sugar workers? Come on, come closer to the classroom, some of you sugar workers who are watching, especially those, my friends, and maybe I have some relatives who still akotkin na makin kota. Hardworking people that the PPP have taken advantage of for so many years that they continue to take advantage. They continue to lie to sugar workers. They ran sugar workers off of a bread and butter kind of job, even during the PPP days. Sugar estates were closed. Hundreds, probably thousands of sugar workers were left without a job. Thankfully, in 2015, the coalition came into office and rescued the sugar workers. The coalition government came into office and they rescued Guyana because Guyana was in the intensive care unit. Guyana was badly hurt. Guyana was badly damaged at every level. For almost 25 years, we have young people who have born under the PPP regime, lived under the PPP regime, and they were deprived of a bright future. They were deprived of education at the university level. Free education at the University of Guyana that was implemented under the People's National Congress reform. And when the PPP got into office on October 5th, 1992, guess what they did? Not so long after. No, I'm not talking about committed a serious crime by the death of Monica Reese, who was killed viciously, and her body was thrown somewhere there on Main Street by a supporter of the PPP regime, a so-called businessman, and to this day there has been no justice for that woman. Absolutely none, no justice at all for that woman, and nobody cares. Well, if they don't care about Sash Saw, if the PPP and Jack Dave, they don't care about Sash Saw, why do you think they're going to care about a little Portuguese girl that was killed by a businessman who is connected to the PPP. And so you have the commissioner of police, then Larry Lewis, knew of a cover-up. You have the crime chief then, knew of a cover-up. And all these guys, you even had the minister of Home Affairs then, was a guy by the name of Feroz Mohammed. Corruption, corruption, and cover-up at every level. Now, I wasn't talking about that happened almost as soon as they got into office. They got rid of a lot of things. And one of it is the free education at the university level, free tuition. Prior to 1992, young people had a place to go. They could have gone to the University of Guyana. They could have gone to Cristo Labor College, like Robert Passad did. Robert Passad probably learned to read and write right at Cristo Labor College, and others. And that is what happened under the PNC regime. It happened under Burnham. It happened under Hoyt. Nobody was deprived of a free education. No one. Forget about those people who saying they were deprived of flour and they couldn't make bake. When is this nonsense going to stop? How many times must we continue about this nonsense about flour? That Burnham banned flour and that Burnham didn't like Indians and all manner of things. What sort of stupidity is that? Who is going to ban flour that will affect everyone in the country? And since when only one set of people use flour? To make roti, people now make bake, people now make pulori, people now make bara, people now make bread, and all these other things. People now make, have you guys ever eaten flour porridge? The best, in my opinion, flour porridge. You make some nice thick flour porridge and you throw some nice sugar in it and you sit on your front veranda and you just eat your life away. Gosh, but when are people going to get that right? That it was just basically a propaganda about this banning of flour. But while they blame Burnham, that Burnham banned this, PNC this, that is what Paku like Jack Dale does every single Thursday. She sits right there and she has absolutely no shame. She goes on like a Sitara girl, right? She hides the dress and wind on like a Buxton girl. I'm not equating her to Buxton girl. No, I'm not, because I wouldn't disrespect the Buxton girls. But let us continue here, because enough of that, enough of Sitara girl, because tomorrow she's gonna whine and go down and whine and come up and all manner of things. She's gonna cuss every black leader in Guyana. She's gonna cuss every black person in Guyana. And then she's gonna, when she's tired of cursing, Glenn Berg, this and that, and everybody she gonna cuss. Then she gonna go to Glenn Lal. And Glenn Lal did this with Pumpkin and all manner of things. She has nothing to offer. And when I say she, y'all know exactly which she I'm talking about. I don't have to call names. And even if I want to call names, I'm not afraid to say he's a she. I don't know. What's the operator doing? Right? Nobody's afraid. And so the point that I'm making, that's the level of politics in Guyana. These Pakus, these silly leaders have nothing good to offer. All they can do is cost them. That's all. And when they get cost back up the alleyway, they get vexed. They start to jump out and they start to call to the ERC and all manner of things. That is what they do. They're a bunch of pussycats. I repeat, and I'm going to say this in slow motion. They're a bunch of pussycats. That's who they are. A bunch of cowards. But God don't sleep though, right? God certainly don't sleep. Let's move on. We have other stuff to talk about. We're not talking about those so-called businessmen who evade taxes. Billions and billions of dollars in taxes. Some of them are in the private sector, right? Some of them are in the private sectors. We know who they are too, mind you. But let's go to this particular situation. These people, gosh, when are they? When these Pakus in the PPP regime, they continue to persecute. Oh yeah, they continue to persecute these people. They're persecuting these people because they refuse to bow to them. They refuse to bow to the corrupt PPP regime. How many of you remember the story of Jesus Christ and Satan? I believe the devil tried to tempt him and say, well, if you bow to me, if you prostrate, we are going to, or the devil say he's going to give everything in the world. Jesus Christ stood his ground. These people are sticking to their ground. These people are being persecuted. The reason why they're being persecuted, it is because they are of African descent. And the PPP doesn't like people of African descent unless they can use them. They want them to crawl to them and lick to them. That is what they do. That is what they want. And some of them who crawl over and licking for whatever 12 pieces of silver or whatever, or for a couple black chickens or a black tank. And then some of them with a fake Bajan accent that don't mean nothing, and I like Irfanole, a bunch of incompetent pacos. And so David Hines was right. And I don't know why they're so hurt. They have called people all sort of names. And now David Hines call him, well, David Hines took the word lick from me, right? Because y'all know who I used to call lick lips. So he stretched it further. Lick you know what. And so they're hurt. They're running on the mountaintop and they're crying and they're complaining. They say, oh my gosh, why did Dr. David Hines call us lick buttocks, lick butt? Why? As though that is a crime. Since when that is a crime? That they want to drag David Hines to the ERC. But they're not dragging the others to the ERC, those who have called persons of African descent hungry-bellied dogs, all manner of things. Look at what they have done to me. They put on wigs on me, they put on lipstick on me, and by the way, I look good in anything, whether it's lipstick, whether it's wigs, I don't care what they do to me. It doesn't hurt me. It's like throwing water on ducks' back. But the funny thing is, though, they don't like when they get it back in them. Then is when they start bawl out for murder. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at what David Hines is saying. Look at what Bert is saying. Look at what Duncan called somebody a trench crapper and they took him to the ERC. Look at these things. They're hurt. They're a bunch of pussycats running that government, that so-called government in Guyana. They're a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of corrupt individuals. They're a bunch of illiterate. They're a bunch of racists. That is who they are. And so they like when those types of people, one or two of them from Melanie, crawl to them, suck up to them. And those who don't suck up to them, they want to confront us. But this is what I say to the likes of the trench crappos like Jack Dew and them. Bring it on. Bring it on. Now, I've mentioned earlier, they get all of those media houses, but yet they can't beat us in this information time. With the PR, they can't beat us at all. They have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars to their friends and cronies in the media. They even have a special media unit, kind of like a hit squad, a phantom squad, you call them, that they go after individuals. They get paid every day to target individuals. And their silliness they do. They're not effective at all, but they're wasting taxpayers' monies. Watch Tanti Moral tomorrow. And for those who don't know who is Tanti Moral, this is Tanti Moral. He claims to be the vice president of Guyana. Tanti Moral. That is who these guys are. They are a bunch of vagabonds. At tomorrow's press conference, I want this Tanti Moral. This Tanti Moral looks as though he would walk somewhere in Kingston, Jamaica. Sorry. They banned that song from Buju Banton. Sorry about it, guys. Now let's stay focused. And so at tomorrow's press conference, he has absolutely nothing to offer. What makes you think this wimp, Arlene, thank you. What makes you think this wimp cares about you guys? There is absolutely no evidence that she cares about you guys. None whatsoever. Thank you so much, bloodsucker. That is what they are. They are sucking every single thing. They are worse than vampires. They are worse than mosquitoes. Only God knows, But we say God doesn't sleep. Every single time. I don't know. These days we're not hearing he's not getting piled any longer. He getting piled. He got to go and cut this. He cut his sons. He cut every single thing. You get COVID one time, get COVID 2 times, 3 times. Every single thing we're hearing about it. And that is why God doesn't sleep, slowly and painfully, but surely in the end. Ecclesiastes 3 talks about there's a time and there's a season for everything. So they might be smiling today, but it doesn't mean they will smile tomorrow. The crappos will crawl over today, but it doesn't mean they will be happy tomorrow. And so be careful, guys, as we prepare to say goodbye for tonight. Be careful with those who jump up on a mountaintop. And they're jumping and they're saying, fairness. There's no look. Let me go back. I want to make this point quickly. In any other country other than Guyana, these individuals would not have been persecuted for this law. Thousands of people would have been in the streets. I don't know if you guys remember when they were persecuting me. Hundreds, probably thousands of people were in the streets. And they blocked off miles away from the court. Miles away from the court. Because God in heaven knows what they were afraid of. A little piece of guy like me. They blocked off for miles. Hundreds of police, men and women in the streets. Just for a little piece of guy like me going to court. But let's look at it this way. Why can't we see the same when individuals are being persecuted? That the country is able to shut down and they must not be able to to sleep comfortably. Now, it's a slip of the tongue when I say they must not be able to live. I am not the one to determine that, mind you, a slippage of the tongue. But they must not be able to sleep comfortably. They must not. They must not be able to sleep comfortably at nights. And those were the days when they were when they in handcuffs and they had me in shackles and so forth. I was smiling. I had a good smile with my handcuffs on and shackles on, right? Going to court. And they couldn't sleep. But I was in solitary confinement, sleeping and dreaming and all sorts of dreams I was having. Shh, let's not go there. Hey, 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benchap. How are you guys doing? What else you guys want us to talk about? Tell me. What else do you guys want us to talk about before we go? Or you guys don't want? You guys don't want me to go. If you don't want me to go, say you don't want me to go right now. Otherwise, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Right, Princess? And others, Jamal Aziz, how are you guys doing? Now, I wanted to make another point, and I want to make this point clear. No, it's not about allegations of corruption at Guyana Lands and Surveys. Notice they're quiet. They're not talking about the allegations of corruption at this agency. They're not talking about that. No, they're not. Like I've said, they finished talking about this guy, this Paku, and notice, I am noticing the resemblance of, I don't know, if the one from Melanie looks like this and this one looks like, what's happening, guys? What's happening? Anyways, we're no longer hearing about this thing. We're no longer hearing about the budget. $1.38 trillion. Nothing for the ordinary Guyanese. Nothing for the people in the quarantine. Nothing for the people in Kokwani and Ituni. It's as though those people do not exist. Nothing for the people of Bartica. Nothing for the people in Sophia, even around Georgetown on the East Coast. Absolutely nothing. $1 trillion budget. Majority of that money going into these Paku's pockets. Half of it might be going into a bank account that Jack Dieo owns in China. Jack Dieo has a bank account in China. Jack Dio, I repeat, has a bank account in China. He says no. He says not true. But yet he's done with it. But instead of confronting the situation, he tried to play it off with wigs and lipstick. That woman. Sorry, let's not bother about that tonight, right? We have lots of other nights. It's an elections year. But let's head back as we prepare to close on this guy who was very hurt. He was touched. He couldn't sleep. It was like, why, Ben Sharp? Why? You know, he kind of like, what was it? One of those Jamaicans singing in Gully Bop or something like that. He thinks he is like Gully Bop. So he tries to, on his page today, say that somebody told him that I mentioned, I featured him a lot. Nobody know. You're not Gully Bop. That everybody want to, no, everybody, nothing. You were barely mentioned. And let me mention him again tonight. Figueroa is saying, Figueroa is elected by the people. And it's about time Figueroa starts to work in the interest of the opposition supporters, those who put him, those who gave him an opportunity to be a member of parliament. Other than that, he would not have. He gets close to 300,000 Guyana dollars per month to work on behalf of the people. Not to just walk around Linden a couple of times and hand out little stuff. Fair enough, it's good. He's handing out stuff. People need stuff. But people need to see him go beyond the rhetoric. He is a member of parliament for the opposition, not a member of parliament for the PPPC. Absolutely none. And so every single time he feels he has to, he feels he has the authority to go out there and explain and try to justify and try to look nice. He's one of them banners that's going to a wedding house and pull on his pants and wine more than Vishnu and Prahalal. Pull on his pants and wine more than them. Oh, chale gaye ho. I say sungita mata me chale gaye ho. I say sungita mata me chale gaye ho. Charal kitao balama. Chodadia chagal kitao balama. And all these sort of things. That is him. That is Jermaine Figueroa. Oh God, this one more people. German bums raise. But German, now is not the time for your bums to raise. Now is the time for you to take off your gloves and fight on behalf of the people, the 218,000 people who are the ones that made you get that seat in parliament. You didn't get there by yourself, and therefore you're not representing them based on emotions and how you feel. Go with the rhythm of the people. And so this is this guy, Jermaine, saying PNC's Figueroa condemns David's attack and saying that David Hines is dividing. No, man. Shame on you, Jermaine Figueroa. Shame on you. And so tonight, Jermaine gets the award. How many of you guys think that Jermaine should get the award? Let's have a democracy here. Let's have a free and fair elections right here, right now. In the next 30 seconds, how many of you guys feel that Jermaine Figueroa should get the award for tonight on 107.1 FM? And he is going to get the award based on the fact we already see what direction he going. We don't need glasses. All you don't need glasses to put on and to see where he's going. We already know. We saw that flip-flopper, that one that owns a cow pen in Melanie. We already know that. We could see them. We know what they're about. And so if we know, why are we going to sit down and continue to take chances? Why? Why? That's the question tonight, guys. Why? How many of you believe he should get the award tonight? Right here on 107.1 FM. What are they going to do? Take me to the ERC? It took me 5+ years in solitary confinement. You think I'm going to tremble about the ERC? Or Pacus like Jack Dale and those ARC? Those guys? No, they think not me. No, not me. I'd rather be a puppy, right? Than to lick those. Hey, I don't know. I thought certain guys don't lick. But those guys, like the guy from Melanie, seems to be an expert in that. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, so this is for the lick crew. This is for all of them, the licky crew. All of them. They get the award tonight. Every single one of them. If they're vexed, they're vexed. Who cares? They really don't do nothing. They're always fighting against us. Why are they doing this? Somebody should ask Jermaine Figueroa, why are you doing this? Why? If you don't like us and don't want to be with us, go. I wish I could play that song from, who is it? The guy from the halftime. I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. My name is Mark Benshot, and good night to all of you across Guyana. If you still have electricity, because every single night for hours, the people have power failure, electricity failure in Guyana. Compliments of that corrupt, racist PPP regime. And if Lincoln Lewis is watching, maybe it's time we start to say that there's economic genocide in Guyana. I'm out of here. God bless you. Continue to pray for that country, but you got to continue to stand up and fight. It's too bad the opposition is not fighting enough. What are they afraid of? Anyways, the award goes to Jermaine, that thing from Melanie that owns that cow pen bar, and so forth and so on. This award goes to them.
And you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. When you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
If he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, "Where the hell is the agreement we came to?" So I say.
Nung em. Ông hiểu.
Yeah, my name is Justity Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen. Body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Hear me sing, so big body can't wear it tight pants, big body jump.